country to country. Now I could drink champagne when I thirst. Now I could see only thing I never see. They say this hour you man so long. But I thank me for the run the family. No bad mind boy they can stop me. And every show I smiling cause trust me, life is so lovely, boy. And I'm far from finished, boy. And I can't believe it, no. See I'm far from finished, boy. Love the life that I live in. I say na na na, I say na na na, say na na na, I 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 say na na na. Forever thankful for doubters and the past and the people who laugh on us. Forever grateful for all the times I've failed. And Papa say, oh son, you can't give up. What's for you is for you. I said, Papa, you know I will never stop, no. Now Jaja bless me with the opportunity to buy country to country. Now I could drink champagne when I'm thirsty. Now I could see all the thing I never see. They say this hour you man so lucky. But I thank me for the run the family. No bad mind boy they can stop me. And every show I smiling cause trust me, love is so lovely, boy. And I'm far from finished, boy. And I can't believe it, no. See I'm far from finished, boy. Love the life that I live in. I say na na na.
Greetings and salutations, so on and all. Welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele. It's Community and Finance Night. I want to welcome you, those from near, those from far. If you're just tuning in, don't worry. We're very much far from finished. Music from Voice kicking us off. A track called Far From Finished. I want to say big ups to those who are locked in from near, from far. Those on TuneIn Radio on the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele, big ups to you. Those hailing from across the pond. Top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK. Locked in on One Harmony Radio. King Genius, Queen Genius, blessings to you.
I'll never run it easy for the brands and the bling and the expensive thing.
Much love to those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Veteran in the business. Thank you, Mr. Lindsay, for the support. Big ups to those who are locked in out of Jersey. Tune into the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele to get some warmth. I got you. I have enough to share. Those locked in on NIE Radio, New Jersey's finest, my brother from another mother, the motivator. Blessings, bro. Also to New Jersey, Mix102.com. And their sister station in Jamaica, Earth 96 FM. Blessings. People are yard. Loving a like how dry peas love fire. Much love, Symbol. Thank you for all the work you put in. Big ups to those who are locked in out of New York, exhibiting the power of music on island worldwide. China Nicole, Gary, Jump Out Production crew, much love to you and you.
Jaja blessed me with the opportunity to buy country to country. Now I could drink champagne when I'm thirsty. Now I could see all the thing I never see.
Blessings to those who are locked in on Zeno FM. Bubbling in a stew pot.
No bad mind boy they can stop me. And every show I smiling cause trust me, love is so lovely, boy. And I'm far from finished, boy.
Yeah man, we're still not quite finished yet. Big ups to those who are locked in on Clubhouse. Also bubbling in a stew pot. Welcome. The family supporting on YouTube Live. Cynthia, I see you. Missy Bram Bram. How you doing? Don't dance up too much, you know, remember your hip. Take time with your kidney. Yeah, we can rest it a little bit later and soak in some salts, right?
So every little thing that you have, be grateful for.
I want to say thank you to my segment sponsors. Paul C Media Group and being in a moment is price. Let's go ahead and get them a link. You have an event you want to stream live on a secure platform, you're not too sure how to go about doing it. Check in with Paul C Media Group, 754-999-1140. Or you can link me, Kevin Stew, and I can point you in the right direction where they're concerned. 773-789-STEW is the number to reach me, you know this. But Paul C Media Group also does website hosting. So, you want to put your website somewhere that supports someone in your community, someone like you, because, you know, they're not like us. Link them over there at Paul C Media Group, or connect with me, and I'll connect them with you. Thank you, Paul C Media Group. I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea SU is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you, bringing her table, her oils on over 20 years massage therapy experience. Go ahead and schedule your appointment today, 954-655-9000. That's 954-655-9000. You're gonna be in the South Florida region, Broad County, Southern Palm Beach, Northern Miami-Dade, and just link her up and say, hey, I heard about you on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. When can I get my massage? Just to let you know, she only has one stipulation outside of paying her, of course. It's that you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done. It's called the Kevin Stew clause. Lala, I don't know why you're laughing, you know, I tell you it's real. Call her up and get one of the massages and you'll see. Thank you, Althea, and your Healing Heavenly Hands. I want to say big ups to the Global Base. The Global Base navigates your journey across music, event, marketing, and much, much more. It's a realm where social spheres awaken through their mastery. So go ahead and embrace the invitation to liberate your creativity unbounded and free. Just like their consultation. Free. The Global Base is your catalyst for everything related to music production, radio and event promotion, social media promotion. Just connect with them and see what they can do for you. What is it that you're working on? What's your project? Connect to the Global Base, daglobalbase.com. Tell them you heard about them on the night show with DJ Kevin Stew. I just call my name. It's like Kevin Stew say. Just like that. Thank you to McNeil Trucking. McNeil Trucking is a veteran-owned, licensed and insured mover in the state of Florida. So if you're looking to move from the Keys to Jacksonville, well, Jacksonville kind of chilly right now, so the other way around. If you're looking to move from Jacksonville to the Keys, from Naples to Palm Beach, from Pensacola to Pompano, and all points in between. You're looking to put some things in storage, you don't have the manpower, you don't have the transportation. Don't worry, you have the name, you have the number. McNeil Trucking, 954-406-9740. If it is such that you need to move out of state or even into state, call them up. McNeil Trucking is the name. Tell them Kevin Stew sent you. You see how many referrals? Yeah man, just call up my name. Don't be afraid to do it. If you call my name with some people that I didn't tell you about, I can't help you there, okay?
They say this hour.
I'm just saying.
No, no bad mind, boy, they can stop it. And every show I smiling, cause trust me, love is so lovely, boy. And I'm far from finished, boy.
Real quick, I want to make a mention of the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. Doing work in Jamaica and in the diaspora to hold Jamaican government officials accountable. They go about this doing protests, doing ATIs, access to information requests, even lawsuits against the Jamaican government officials. You have a case, not too sure how to present it, looking for information, can't quite get it. One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation, connect with them online, ojldf.net. Connect with Will Rattigan. He's on air on a Saturday from 3 till 8 p.m. 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's quite a marathon, isn't it? Yeah, but he's on and he holds it down. Reason with Rattigan, and you can catch him on a Wednesday. Come Reason with Rattigan, where you can call in and be interactive directly. Thank you, OJLDF.
Never a nice living. And mama say, oh, you could have it all. Just work hard for you.
Encouraging you to get your copy of the audio book if you haven't done so already. Waste no more time. Empower the essential concepts and strategies every woman should know about self-defense. Authored by Jonathan Field, a martial arts instructor out of Canada. Narrated by yours truly. Host of the Night Shift, DJ Kevin Stew. KevinStew.com. Kevin Stew. Go ahead and get your copy of the audiobook today. Get one for yourself, one for your brother, your sister, your father, your mother, your cousin, your friend. Get one for a stranger. Just gift it to them. They won't be disappointed, and neither will you. I learned a lot from narrating it. You learn a lot from listening to it. Also encourage you to check out Context Matters, hosted by human rights attorney out of Jamaica. Everybody know him as Vibes Cartel attorney, but I know him as the human rights attorney, Mr. Isaac Buchanan. Host of Context Matters. Catch him on a Thursday afternoon, 5 p.m. Reggae Global Radio, and also online on YouTube. But Reggae Global Radio is a place to go catch him, right? Context Matters. As a matter of fact, there's an event coming up this weekend in support of children in Jamaica. And let me show you this real quick before I bring Lala back on stage. There we go. PPV for a purpose. PPV being pay-per-view. The purpose to equip young children, students of now I can't remember the name of the high school, but link with ISAT and he will tell you. You can find ISAT on everywhere. Just search ISAT, ISAT Buchanan, and connect with him. Ask him about this drive to equip young high school students in East Portland, starting in East Portland, with a tablet so that they can get some of their schoolwork done. It's this event coming up on Saturday, the 22nd of February. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern, and your subscription to view this event, all proceeds go straight to purchasing these tablets. So if you can't purchase a tablet to contribute, which is about $90 thereabouts, then go ahead and purchase your viewing of this event that goes towards helping these students in Jamaica, in East Portland. starting in East Portland. It's an endeavor that he's looking to expand all across Jamaica. But he's starting with one school in East Portland, Jamaica. Get on board. Let's help these students in Jamaica, because let me tell you, our kids need it.
And I can't believe it, no.
Now there she is. She didn't know she was coming up yet, but there she is, ladies and gentlemen. See that smile? Ladies and gentlemen, you know her. She's no longer a stranger. She even comes with her own music. She's broadcasting us live.
So, I decided to actually do this from Hollywood, Florida at 31 Lounge, which will be hosting the Books and Brunch. So please excuse me, but we're doing it live on the Hollywood Strip right now.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to get past the music in the background, but we're gonna work with it. And because, like she just said, she's live on location in Hollywood, Florida. So now this location that you're at, you said, is the home of your book launch and book club?
Yes, it is the home of Books and Brunch Book Club. It is 1931 Hollywood Boulevard, the 31 Lounge.
Well, big ups to the 31 Lounge. It's awesome that they afforded you this space to use for this and to use for tonight. So it's two birds you're killing with one stone. You're giving them a little bit of free advertising, as well as showcasing, letting people know exactly where it is that you're gonna be for this event. Now, we're going to be talking about that event and a number of other things that you're involved with. So, let's get started with, you were introduced to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew last Wednesday on Real Talk. And people were like beside themselves. They were amazed. Some people were amazed. Some people were like, oh yeah, we're now Team Lala because she's awesome. Forget about Kevin Stew, he's just whatever.
No, we can never forget about Kevin Stew. It's all the love. We're in the stew pot forever, baby. We are family forever.
Right? So, Cynthia, G Angel, much love. Welcome. And everybody is happy to have you. Nikki, I see you there. I see you. So, let's get down with it. Lala. Oh, the people they're like right there.
Yes, right here. Let me tell them, if you have something you don't want told, you're actually broadcasting live on the radio. Okay. It's all good, baby.
Hey, we got you, baby. So people got into the mind of Lala on Real Talk last Wednesday. Now we get to get down with a little bit more of Laurinda and the many hats that you wear. Because I guess the hats that you wear are as numbered as your locks. I don't know. The amount of things that you've been involved with and are involved with. Tell us about that. Let us get an understanding of what you've been doing, what you're driven to do, who Laurinda Lala is.
There's stuff about to happen with the workforce.
So, a couple of the things that I am involved in, I am actually a certified John Maxwell speaker and coach. I am a certified grief recovery specialist. I am an author, an 8-time author. I have an LLC, a 501c3 organization, and we really deal with the tough topics such as rape, molestation, domestic violence, mental health challenges, different things like that. So everything that keeps someone stuck in the muck, that keeps them from excelling professionally, those are the things that we tackle first. So those are some of the things that I do. I'm also a poet. I help people write books. I have actually, in my last book that came out, we created 13 authors from that one book. They had a desire to do something, so I gave them the opportunity to put a poem in the book, and now we have 13 new authors, and which it actually spawned a new idea with my publisher, where we actually have the Scribe Circle. In the Scribe Circle, it teaches people everything that they need, the ins and outs, to become full-fledged authors and to get into different anthologies, to meet other authors and writers, to build a community of folks that have a message that needs to get out to help the community. So those are some of the things that we're working on, as well as I host conferences and events.
Now, that book that you mentioned, which one of the books was that?
So that is The Making of the Butterfly.
Now,
it's a book about transformation.
Of course, because it's the making of a butterfly.
Exactly.
Now, how many books have you written?
So I have written 4 books by myself, and I'm in 4 collaborative works, and I have one that I'm actually working on right now.
Okay, so you have 4 solo books, 4 collabs, and working on a 5th solo book.
Correct.
Over what period of time? When did you start writing your books?
I started writing in 2018.
Wow. Yeah.
I started writing in 2018.
Now,
so it was everything that I was going through that all of a sudden there was a catalyst for the change, and when I spoke and I found my voice, it manifested in books.
Now, it's interesting that you say that, and one of your books, subtitled "The Book of Me," is what tonight's broadcast title is. She Blinked. This book right here, people. See? This book. She blinked. And I'm going to ask you to mute your mic for me so I can read this quick piece. It's called Lala Gazelle, dated 2/27/13. She is the defender of man reborn. She has the upper hand in the eye of a storm. She is more that she could ever imagine to be. She is made by God perfectly. She has flaws, yet she is whole. Her core is warm in the center of the cold. Filled earth, her birth by baptism, in a world filled by cynicism. Lady, who this? Who is this Lala Gazelle?
So Lala Gazelle is one of my other names. So, most people call me Lala. But Gazelle, what I found out when I was actually trying to delve into my identity and who I was as a person, I found out that the last name that I grew up with thinking was my name, and the people that I thought were my family all my life, were indeed not my birth family. And the way that we found out, and my actual last name is Roselli. So I use the word gazelle as like a moniker to it. But so my dad was left at the hospital as a kid. And so he joined the military, and there was something wrong with his paperwork, and he had to renew his driver's license. So the law had just passed where you had to present your birth certificate and other information to verify your identity.
Right.
So he goes to the DMV to verify his identity, and they tell him that's not his name.
Ooh.
And so the people that he thought raised, who he thought were his parents that raised him his entire life, was just a loving family that took him in and changed the trajectory of our entire life. So, it caused a lot of anger in him when he found out that, our last name that we grew up with the entire life, it was not our last name at all, when in fact, it was Griselli. So that's where Lala Gazelle came from, because it's like a moniker for me. Lala, it's the fun side of me, the not so serious side of me, the side that loves to have fun, that loves people, that can kind of morph into someone else. So that's where the Lala Gazelle, and of course the gazelle is swift. It's beautiful. It's majestic. And at
Yes.
that time, I didn't feel beautiful. I didn't feel swift. I didn't feel majestic. So it was a part of my moniker, me actually growing into the woman that you see before you today.
Wow. And people, let me tell you something. I just opened the book randomly and saw that and decided to read it. That there's no rhyme or reason. I didn't go through the book and say, "Oh, let me do this one." No, no. I just literally just randomly opened the book, saw it, and said, "Okay, I'm gonna read this." And so, if you get your hands on this book, chances are you'll be drawn to something. Just open it. Anything you land on, start there. And then go to the front. See what happened before there. See what happened after there. Just go through it. There's a whole story of Lala on the back of this book. Let me tell you. There it is. Oh, I almost dropped it. See? A whole story. And it's I've read random sections of this book, right? Just opened it and said, "Let me see what I see." And I'm drawn to it each time. I'll tell you this. I'm not much of a reader. How exactly I end up being a talk show host with a broadcast of this nature beats me. But I do nothing but read, though I'm not much of a reader. Go figure. And so, this book, chances are like any of her other books that she has either written or been a part of. You all got an introduction to Confessions of a Serial Dater. And those of you that missed it, it's not the Fruity Pebbles, it's not the Frosted Flakes or the Cocoa Puffs, not that cereal. No. Dating over and over and over again. And if you want to get an idea of what that is and lose the misconception that you already have, because most people are judgmental, right? So they hear something like that and they go off and think, "Ooh, she's that girl." No. And if that's your thought, let's go ahead and get to know someone before you make these kinds of judgments. And who are you to judge anyway? So it takes you to a place where you get to learn something else and to learn about something else. G Angel said, I could have fooled her that I'm not much of a reader. Well, I fooled you. Got another one. But yeah, it's encouraging to get to know someone, not judging the book by the cover, so to speak. So don't blink. because you might miss it. And those of you that saw the post that I did of today, I used actual titles of 3 of her books. I used this one, She Blinked. I used Making of a Butterfly. And, of course, Confessions of a Serial Dater. So it's my little way of paying a little bit of tribute to the guest of the evening, the person whose broadcast this really is, as I facilitate it, Laurinda Andujar. Now, the name Andujar, this is the name that you're saying your father adopted, basically, was given to him.
So Andujar is actually my married name. I am divorced.
Okay.
And so my works are all in the Andujar name. So when I got divorced, I did not want to lose all of the progress that I had done. So
Gotcha.
I kept that last name. But
Gotcha.
the last name that is truly not my last name is Williams. I was raised as Laurinda Renee Williams all my life, and Williams is not my last name.
Gotcha.
So that is the name that my mother passed away with, that my brothers and sisters have, which is really not our last name.
I got you. Now, the mission that you have embarked on, where you have become, and it's, let me take it off of the back of this book. You are a doula. You're a poet. You are a songbird. You are a transformational leadership coach, a healer, a servant leader. That's a big one. A mother, and here's another big one, a survivor, and a grief recovery specialist. But that's not all of them, because you're an advocate. You have this 501c3. So I guess they couldn't all fit in. I guess the funds would have to get a little bit smaller if you were to include everything on the back of this book, which I guess would lead people to connect with you to get them all. Let's dissect these just a little bit, if you will. The poet and the songstress kind of go hand in hand because of the creative, and the author too, the creative that you are. So you have this creative space from which everything else branches out. What was it that led you to realize that this creative space exists?
So with the creative space, one of the things when I'm going through a lot, when I am having some grief moments, episodes of my life, that's when I'm the most creative. When I'm in my darkest, deepest, Lodabar pit, that's where all of my creativity comes from. And the catalyst for me, actually, there were 2 major people in my life that were catalysts for my creativity. I'm not sure if you've heard of both of them, but I'm for sure certain that you've heard of one. It's Maya Angelou. I met Maya Angelou in high school, and I had the pleasure of hearing her recite I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And if you know anything about the poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, she speaks of when she was molested as a child.
Yes.
And she lost her voice. Well, the day that I heard her recite that, I was in high school, and my teacher Susan actually took myself and two other ladies, Simone and I can't remember and Michelle, to go see her. And so I'm listening to her pour out her heart and be completely authentic and vulnerable about the challenges that she has faced in her life. And before Me Too was a thing, I was like, oh my God, that is my life. I can tell somebody what happened to me and they'll understand because they walked through it.
Yes.
And so the challenging thing for me is her mother was sick at the time, so I never got to speak with her. They darted her out the door, and I was left with that in me, so I started to pen. Before that incident happened, I don't know if you remember Bo Diddley.
I know of Bo Diddley.
Okay, so you remember when Bo Jackson, the football player, was doing all these extra things, and they say you don't know Bo, and then he said you don't know Diddley,
right.
And then he started playing the guitar, and the old man with the guitar, he said, actually, you do know Bo, you know Diddley. So when I was in high school, Bo Diddley actually invited me to his recording studio to record. And this is the man that worked with Etta James and a lot of the late greats. Invited little old me to his recording studio to sing.
Where was this?
And because in Bronson, Florida.
Okay.
A little town, Bronson, Florida, right outside of Archer. He's actually buried in Bronson, Florida, and I have pictures of his grave.
Right.
He's actually he's the only African American in the graveyard, in a segregated graveyard in Bronson, Florida. Yes. And so I did not make it to his house. And the reason that I did not make it to his house because my trauma blocked me from going. I was a high school student, so all I saw was this older gentleman inviting me to his house.
Right.
And it scared me because of the things that I had already gone through.
Right.
And so it wasn't until he died and I got older till I knew the scope of his influence and the powerhouse that this man was. But I sang for him when he did a concert in the Bronson High School gymnasium, and he asked me to come to his house and record. And so awesome. Maya Angelou and Bo Diddley were the catalyst for my creative side, and a lot of people don't know that.
Wow. That's a big deal. That's truly a big deal. So I probably need to get you to come to the Global Bass Studios to lay down a few tracks, huh?
Look, I don't know about that now. We can try. We got a little bit of pipes. We can try, but it's not like it used to be. But yeah, that's where a lot of my creativity comes from, and I was one of those persons that I remember there's a song in St. Petersburg. It's called On My Block. It was a rap group. And they played my hook on the radio of their song back when I was probably 25. So it's amazing the opportunity and the amazing people that I've been around. And another name that you may know, I met her through my mom, is Chevelle Franklin.
Oh, really?
Yes, I met Chevelle Franklin. She came to my mom's house in Largo, Florida, and I actually sang with her playing around, and she invited me to Jamaica. I was in high school, but I never made it there because, again, my insecurities, and I've been around greatness all my life, and it's just, it's now that I'm opening up to share some of the opportunities that I've had because they're not common. And I grew up thinking that the things that I was privy to were common when they really weren't so common. But I didn't understand. It's like when you're around greatness and sometimes you're too close to see it, you never realize what you're blessed to be around.
Right. So do you keep in touch with Chevelle? Do you keep in touch with Chevelle?
No, it has been. I haven't talked to her since like right after I got out of high school. But it's so funny. After my mom passed away, I have some of her stuff. 'Cause, you know, she was a roadie, and she got to travel with Jimmy Cliff and the Marleys and all these
Mm-hmm.
greats. So I have all of her T-shirts with everybody's signatures on them, and I haven't figured out what to do with them. But I want to bless somebody with those one day. So if you ever do like a giveaway or a charity event, because you have blessed me in such a way, I'm going to bless you with some of those T-shirts with all of those signatures on them so that you can either auction them off or do something with them because I want them to go to a good cause.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Um, Chevelle lives in Africa now. So, and I don't know what I did with her number. Anyway, Chevelle lives in Africa now. I was trying to multitask. So we're actually in a group chat. So what I'll do is I'll reach out and see if I can get you two connected.
Absolutely. Ask her about Rose Williams from Clearwater.
Got you. I'll be sure to do that. Now, so here you are on this journey. You were introduced to these individuals. You got into this space, and in that moment, you shied away from doing certain things because of your own personal trauma. This same trauma you have used to kind of propel you, kind of inspire you to help others. How did you manage to navigate through this trauma to the place where you could turn it around and use it to as a versus something holding you back, or something to propel you?
You know what? That's a really great question, and I will tell you. In the beginning, I told you I was molested, right?
Right.
I was actually molested by my father. And
Sorry,
so I
my bad.
used to go around him to make him feel uncomfortable and to make him feel like I felt inside. And actually, God started dealing with that thing. He was like, how dare you go around this man to make him feel uncomfortable? You want forgiveness in your life. However, you're holding this over his head. Do you know what he went through? Do you know the challenges that he faced? And so as I started maturing, I started trying to figure out, instead of why things happened to me, what was the catalyst for the change to the people that were doing these things to me. And I wanted to understand why they thought the way that they did, what drove them to that conclusion, what happened to them, because most oftentimes when someone is a violator, a predator, a molester, something like that, it's been done to them.
Right.
And so that became my inner workings of me wanting to understand why people do the things they do. Why do they think the way they do? And everybody deserves love. Everybody deserves appreciation. And I experienced something that most people don't. My dad actually apologized to me face to face. He said he didn't know why he did it. But it took me to understand who he was as a person, some of the things that he went through, and how I needed to leave people better than I found them, because everybody deserves that.
Right, right.
And so if I can be forgiven for the things that I did, why can't I forgive him for the things that he did? And it was a long, arduous journey to get to that point. But then it started, I was like, man, if I can feel this, if I can experience this, I want other people to experience this. I don't want to trauma bond with anybody. I don't want people to think that this is it and you can't get better. I became a disruptor because I saw healing in every moment. Every opportunity was an opportunity to learn about ourselves. So then I went to the grief counseling in Philadelphia. I left Florida and went to Philly because I thought I was this great listener. I thought I knew everything. I thought I could really help people. I had all the answers. And when I got there, I learned that I knew absolutely nothing. And so that I had to develop myself in the way that I dealt with grief, the way that I processed grief, and the way that other people process grief, and allow people to grieve and not say the spiritual things that we say in church. Well, they're in a better place now. Or if I'm handing somebody a tissue, I'm signaling them to stop crying because it's uncomfortable. Grief is uncomfortable and nobody wants to talk about it. So learning the things that I did when dealing with grief, you don't have to have all the answers. People that are grieving are not broken. They just need someone. They're going through somebody and they need someone that is relatable and someone to understand what they're going through. Right. And when I started learning those things, it started making me more human, more empathetic, more understanding of people. And I think a little bit differently than most people do because of the things that I've gone through. I've been through domestic violence. I've watched my mom go through domestic violence. I got hit in the head with a Bible by an ex-husband. I've been cheated on. I've seen a lot. I used to get jumped on as a kid for sport for one of my uncles. There was, myself and six other cousins, and he would have them jump on me and I'll have to fight. All my life, I fought something. So all of those things grew and groomed the woman that I am today. I love people beyond their faults because I want people to love me beyond my faults. So those are some of the catalysts. Those are some of the things that I've experienced in my life to shape the woman that you are today, that you see today. And I think a lot differently than a lot of people. And it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, but I would never diminish the power of going through everything that I've gone through, understanding that that's where my strength comes from. And there are people that get tied to the things that happen to them because that's their identity. And so if I address my identity, who am I going to be when I start healing? And I tell everybody, sometimes the healing hurts more than the wound does. That's why a lot of people don't want to heal. That's why they don't want to get out of the muck that they're dealing with. So that's, just a little bit of my story, why I do the things that I do, the things that drive me. I'm very different. I look at relationships, I look at friendships, I look at a lot of things differently than a lot of people do because I've been, and I know it sounds crazy, too much is given, much is required.
Yes.
I've been through a lot in my life which have shaped me to be the person that I am today, and I wouldn't take back any of that.
There is someone remind me to, I spoke with her today, and I spoke with her shortly after you spoke with her, Tracy Eugene. And she is looking to get into a little bit of what you do. And I don't, it's interesting when you talk with people, you never quite know what it is that they do outside of what you see them doing, or what it is that drives them, their interests, things that make a difference or mean something to them. Where I work, my 9 to 5, when I tell people there that every year I host the National Alliance on Mental Illnesses 5K walk, fundraising walk, they go, wait, what? You do what? I'm like, yeah, I'm the host of this event every year, have been for the past 5 years. have a little bit of a passion for things like that. But not only that, there's the wrongful incarceration, that there are cases that I present on all the time. There's one of the cases that I started with back in 2019. I still present on today. Why? Because the man who was accused of the murder is still on death row. And so the fight continues. And through that, I have met with a few others, a few other advocates. I've spoken with a couple of individuals from behind bars that claim wrongful incarceration. I've spoken with individuals who have come out of prison and have been exonerated. Some somewhat, some fully. And the stories remain the same. And sometimes there are these traumas that people carry. Some of them wear them like badges of honor. Some of them, you see them moving differently and you wonder why, but you never get around to asking. For whatever reason, your own inhibitions or whatever. When it comes to something like abuse, domestic, or any other type of abuse, molestation, which falls under the umbrella, individuals who have gone through things like that typically shy away from, they end up doing one of two things. They shy away completely from addressing it, or they end up being outspoken about it. You have taken on the latter. You probably do well with some people I know that address human trafficking, which in part and parcel has aspects of that, because a number of people that end up trafficked, it's done from someone that they know and are close with. I didn't know that until I interacted with these people. And there's one person that she lives in Palm Beach, Sandra. She was trafficked, and she's one of the survivors. She's one of them that got away. And she has told the story of the domestic abuse that she has gone through, and running away from it and end up getting caught up in abuse all over again. And it ends up being cyclical until you can find a way to break it. How did you break yours? Because this is a chain that holds a lot of people. How do you manage to break yours?
So it was very, very, very hard. Because let me tell you something, when you go through trauma and abuse, it shrinks you. It's designed to shrink you and make you smaller. And as long as you're around people, I developed a very harsh people-pleasing attitude. And when I found that people-pleasing attitude was actually diminishing me and making me hate and loathe who I was, I woke up one day and I said, you know what, I got to do something about this. I found my voice, you know. I let people walk over me for a long time, and I mean, including family. So, and I didn't feel that I had a voice because I felt unworthy. I felt that I kind of deserved some of the things that I went through, and I thought it was my lot in life. But one day you wake up and you said, you know what, I'm not going to take this anymore. Right. It's just like that. There's a quickening in your spirit that says, wait a minute, something about this isn't right, and I'm going to be a voice. And I don't care who gets mad at me. I don't care if somebody...
Uh-oh. Oh, something happened with Lala's connection. All right. As we wait to get reconnected with Laurinda, not too sure. Like she said earlier, she's live on location at a venue in Hollywood, Florida. and that's why you hear the music in the background and the talking and stuff. Yeah, she's literally live at a location in Hollywood where she does her book club from, and she encourages everyone to come out to be a part of it. If you're an aspiring writer, if you're a reader, if you're just interested in some of the things that are being addressed, you know, go ahead, go out, connect. And when we reconnect with her, I'll have the opportunity to have her share when she's out at this location, so you can be interactive. You know, you can get into that interactive space. You can talk with her some more. She goes and she has spoken in a number of arenas, on a number of platforms, and her books also speak volumes. Like I said, this one here that I have, She Blinked, I titled it tonight's broadcast off of this. And I open it to just about anywhere randomly. And yeah, I should have the book cover up so I could show it to you instead of just showing you the book. Yeah. I get that. But here's the other thing. You can go look it up. You can type in her name, not as Lala, but as Laurinda Andujar. Andujar. Those of you that are listening out there on various platforms versus those that are watching right here on kevinstew.com or on YouTube, you can just go ahead and search for her. She is searchable. And so it affords us the ability to see through the eyes of someone if we haven't gone through it ourselves. It affords us the ability to see through the eyes of someone who has. And sometimes it burns. Yeah. Just like how your eyes burn when you want to cry, or your eyes burn when you need to cry. It can burn looking through these other eyes. And it's okay. It's not okay to condone it. It's okay to feel as you share in that moment, in that time, in that space, as you're transcended to that experience. And so Lala has shared with us through her writings. She has been sharing with us as she speaks with us. You know, her introduction to the night shift on in Real Talk was candid. It was stripped down, bare, vulnerable. Yes, it was a moment of vulnerability because you get to share. It was something that it's a concept that many probably view with judging eyes, but it's only a part of her. And as you get to peel away the layers, you learn a little bit more about why and what happened that led her to this place. And so when you get to know her a little bit more and more and more, and you learn a little bit more about her, then you get a little bit of inspiration, you get a little bit of connection. And if you don't feel connected and if you don't feel inspired, that's okay too. it gives you an opportunity to share with someone that you will come across who has been going through it, who has gone through it. Someone who needs to hear from someone who has been there, because they need to know how to get past there. And so as we bring her back, welcome back, Lala. You were missed for that brief moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but we're back. We're back.
Yes. So as just saying, the journey that you have embarked on, where you have decided to lay it all out there, to share your experience, to not be ashamed of what you went through because you didn't do it. It's kind of hard when you find out that you're a writer and someone takes a book of words and hits you with it, literally. And this as a form of control and submission, it's tough. And I know people are listening to me and hearing me use the words to frame it that way, not realizing that, hey, you know what, this is reality. This is the truth, though. This is what happened. For you to speak on these things, what does it take? What has it taken out of you? What has it given to you? And how many platforms have you gone to? Because you are an international speaker. So take us a little bit on this international journey. Where have you gone to share on this?
I've been to Esperanza, Honduras, and I've shared in Honduras. I've shared in Cartagena, Colombia, and it starts with I want to say Bogota. I've been to Bogota, Cartagena, and some different villages in Colombia. I've been invited to Africa. I actually met some pastors when I was in Cape Town that invited me to come back over there, as well as Queen Matuki Taylor has invited me on her platform in Africa. But I have spoken on various platforms. I'm excited to get out there and do more. I've spoken predominantly in a lot of Spanish-speaking churches where they have to have interpreters, because there's a perception of African Americans as a whole, and there was a need to change that, as well as, especially in Honduras and places like that, where women aren't necessarily looked at as a higher power, a higher authority.
Right.
And when I met people that, were in situations where they were being abused, their children were being abused, and the poverty level was so low that there was no escape route for them. They couldn't go to someone else that could take care of them, because they had to sit in it. And talking to women that knew that their children were getting molested, but they had nowhere to go.
Right.
And that was a challenge that, that made my heart hurt. And looking at, girls that were 11, 12, 13 years old that were encouraged to have babies by older men because it would bring more money in the household, because they were making $10 US a month, and they were surviving off stuff like that. So I actually went to this group called Hope Hands and Humanity, the brainchild of Maria, and she invited me to come and mission trips and asked me to speak to the different women based on the opportunities that I've had in life, the challenges that I faced and overcame. And believe it or not, I was more welcomed than not welcomed with the topics that I had, because I probably could have went to jail speaking about the topics that I did,
Oh, really?
because I felt so powerful. I mean, I felt so encouraged to show everybody that they have authority, they have power. This is not the end for you. And just the conversations that I get from both males and females.
Right,
And then,
right.
not even looking at the international, in the US, I had a pastor, when he heard my story, a pastor, a beautiful, beautiful pastor, gentle giant, talked to the congregation for the first time to let them know that he was molested as a boy.
Mm.
And so it's not only women that are opening up when they're hearing the story, it's men. And it's
Right.
not only African American, Black men, people of color. I went to a book, an author night at a school in Sanford, Florida, and I had this gentleman come up to me, and he picked up my book and he looked at it. White gentleman that you would think was living a perfect life, tall, just another gentle giant. Looked at my book, looked at me, looked at my book, looked at me, and he said, "Thank you for telling your story, because it happened to me too."
Mm.
So, it's a vulnerability in that, because people say what they want to say. Some people still think that you did something to deserve it, or now that you've been tainted and tarnished, that you're not worthy of it.
Right.
But it's those experiences that shape us to be who we are, and you either duplicate the challenges that you've gone through, or you become a voice for it. And there's so much power in understanding that you can stop those what goes on in this house conversations, stays in this house. You can bring a light to it. We're called to shine light to it, because whether we like it or not, whether we can stomach it or not, these same behaviors, if we don't address them, will go generations to generations. And what I've found, even in my own family, at one point, people will protect the predator and shame the person that has gone through the challenges. I've
Yes.
seen it over and over again, where they don't want anybody to know that there's a kink in their lineage.
Yeah.
And so instead of protecting people, you're gonna say it. So what I did with my kids, I said, hey, and I'd say this in front of my ex-husband. I said, hey, did mommy ever touch you? And my kids look at me, what do you mean? Did I ever touch you in your private parts? They'll be like, really, Mom? I said, did I ever touch you in your private parts? Did I touch you in your penis? And I say the words because sometimes people make up these words for it. So when the kids are actually being touched, they don't have the real words to say it, and people don't understand what's going on.
Right.
So, at one point, my then husband got offended, and he was like, did you really ask my son, did I touch him? I start out with saying me, so they'll know that not even I can touch you in an unwanted spot.
Right.
And so I'm like, yes, I did. I said, if it happened to me by my father, it can happen to my son by his father. And I'm not going to chance that. So having those open conversations and those candid conversations, those tough conversations, is critically important, even in our own families. And telling my son, like, if one of his little cousins wants to come sit on his lap, no, you don't sit a little girl on your lap. We don't do that. And teaching her, you don't sit on a man's lap. And it starts in the house. It starts at home. It starts at that family foundation, and then it spreads outward. Because now we have a voice. We have something to stand on. We have a foundation to stand on, and we can change it one person at a time. We can change how they look at trauma and grief and shame. I was so ashamed to tell someone, and I remember I almost told my cousin about what was going on, but when I found out that maybe there's something not right, I clammed up.
Right.
And I spoke in Baton Rouge, Louisiana a couple of times, and I spoke in Texas a couple of times. I spoke in Alabama. I spoke in North Carolina. I've been invited to New York, I think in June, to do some poetry about domestic violence and trauma. I've been on different platforms just worldwide using my voice. And it is teaching me every time that if it's only one person that gets to hear this message and understands that there's a way out, it helps that person. And again, I know I've made some enemies. I've made enemies in my own family that have come after me, telling me that I'm telling a lie. But you got to stick to it, because the one thing that I learned about this journey was critically important. Just because you're ready for your truth doesn't mean everybody else is ready for your truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The,
so that's something that what most people don't want to speak out about it, because not everybody is ready for that truth and what they have to deal with when they do tell the truth.
the truth is not always pleasant. It's not always fun. In fact, more often than not, the truth is the harder of the two. The problem is the easier of the two is hard to remember. So you never forget the truth. And if you do, you know that's some serious trauma blocking the truth. And there are some people that have gone through that. The level of trauma that they've been through, there are aspects of their lives that are lost. Not necessarily forever, because hypnotic regression can bring that out. It can unlock it, because it's an experience that you've had in your conscious state. It's just that because of how the brain operates and how we protect ourselves sometimes, we become either different people, literally, or we shut things out mentally. And aspects of our lives are gone, lost forever in our consciousness. But through professional help, you can fix that. And it's not, I'm not saying fix it to say that anyone is broken having gone through something like that. No. You may have had a broken experience, but you're not broken. You're whole. And not everyone is led to doing like you have done, Lala, where you talk, you speak up, you speak out, you write about it, you give others the opportunity to open up about it and to show them that, hey, there's healing that can come from this. And if you feel broken, here, come sit with me, because I've been there. Let us sit together. Let us walk together. You are not alone. And this is what a lot of people who have gone through a lot of various types of trauma. It could be the trauma of losing a loved one, a family member, a partner, a child. I was talking with someone today who told me the story of someone that they spoke with whose sibling was diagnosed with cancer. And when you think of someone that is your peer, so to speak, who you can mark down on a calendar round about the time where they'll no longer be with you, it's an experience that sometimes you don't even know where to go, how to speak, how to feel when you have it. Let alone as a parent to think of having to say your final goodbyes to your child. I remember sitting down thinking about what that would be like one day, and I cried. Just the thought of one of my children not being there in this space, in this time, ever again. And sometimes some of the experiences that we have is just that. It's our inner child, it's our inner self, it's another piece of us that have been gone, erased forever. And we need to mourn that. Grief counseling is not something easy. But yet still, you have afforded yourself, you have made yourself available, you have gone and done the prep work so that you could be someone who can help in this area. Why?
Because, first of all, my experiences are not someone else's experience. So I'm going to give you this scenario, and three of us can know the same exact person.
Right.
One person loved this person with all their life. One person, they knew of this person, thought they were a great person. One person, they had a very tumultuous relationship. There was no love lost. There was just at each other all the time. So when that person passes away, that all three of those people had in common, each one of them are going to go through their grief journey totally different. One person cannot function because that person is gone. Their life is over. One person is like, they were a great person, but life goes on. And this person, well, we didn't have that relationship, so it didn't bother me whether they're here or not. It doesn't bother me. And so the same person talking to those three people the same way are going to yield very different results because each person approached that situation in a very different way and has very different feelings associated with that. And there's so many facets of grief that we haven't even uncovered it. They say there's 7 stages of grief, but they're not circular. They're not linear. Well, grief is not linear. You don't go from A to Z and then you're done with it.
Yeah.
You can smell a perfume, hear a sound, and it takes you back to denial or anger. So understanding those different pieces of grief and how they impact people, because grief can actually make you sick and it can kill you.
Yes.
And people don't understand what it can do to the human body. So if we can walk through the stages of grief, we can manage the things that we're going through more effectively, and so manage our lives when those grief appearances happen. And you said something that was really important, that we have this defense mechanism where when we go through certain levels of trauma, our brain will shut it off to protect us. And it's not until we're strong enough will our brain allow those memories to resurface. There's pockets of my childhood that I don't remember to this day. Pockets of, some people can tell me something, I'm like, that never happened, and it did happen, but it was my brain shutting those moments off for me so that I can survive. And so when those are the things that are important when you're going to grief. I thought, you could talk somebody out of grief. There's a timeline to grief. There is not a timeline to grief. There's so many different pieces to grief, and it's not only death. Did you know that you can grieve things that you've never had? Say that you're a child and you go into a household where they're loving, they're sharing, they have family night, they have dinners together, but you don't get this experience at home. Now I'm going to go home and grieve the experience that I've never had.
Right.
I can leave, I can move and go to another school as a child. I can grieve that move. I can, not get picked for something. I can grieve that. So grief is so big that we can't fathom all of the pieces of grief, that it's important for us to understand, to dive into it, and to listen and to learn, and not to speak on things that we don't know. That's the one thing I tell people: if you don't understand, shut up. And I'm not nice about it. Shut up. Don't speak to it. Don't say these super hyper religious things like they're in a better place. But what if their better place is here with me?
Right.
Just saying, and we, in the obvious, to be absent in the body is to be present with the Lord. Well, what if that person doesn't believe in the Lord? And I grew up uber Christian. I'm a PK was key. So, there's some things that we have to unlearn when we're dealing with people. And then understanding that everybody's not ready to talk about it. So don't force somebody. You have to let everybody come to the conclusion in their timing. And then there's things that we do. Well, they're grieving. Let me leave them alone. Sometimes people don't need to be left alone, but then there's sometimes when people do need to be left alone. And you have to understand understand how they operate, sometimes just listen, just be there. Sometimes just sit there and say nothing. And so just learning to get uncomfortable in a grief setting, in a grief environment is going to be critical for every single one of us out there, because grief is uncomfortable. It's not fun. If the healing was fun, then everybody would do it. Nobody would be jacked up. But there are so many people with what I call masks, like this beautiful makeup I have on tonight. You know, there's so many things that I've gone through in this season that I go through every day. I had a supervisor tell another supervisor, you would never know that Lala was going through anything, because she doesn't show it. She never shows it. But if I tell you half the crap that I'm walking through in this moment right now, you would probably keel over. But you know what the kicker is? Because I'm a grief recovery specialist, people are still pulling on me when I'm walking through. I don't get a rest.
Right.
So it's critically important, especially if you're a healthcare professional, if you're someone grieving and taking care of others, you got to know when to say, hey, not right now. I understand that you're going through something, but I can't help you if I can't focus right now.
Right.
And so understanding when to shut off and to refer that person to somebody else, so we're just not dropping. Because, you know, like a funeral, everybody's there at the funeral, everybody's there, but that's not when the healing happens, and that's not when the grief hits. It doesn't hit when somebody is perfectly alone, that those moments come. And, you know, and it's challenging. Anybody that says they want to do this, I would call them a bold-faced lie. Because this is nothing that I would ever want to do. You couldn't pay me to do this. You couldn't pay me to pastor. Because those people that pastor and shepherd people, they get beat up more than anybody else, and we forget that they're human in everything that they do. So, again, anybody that says they want to do this, you have to be chosen for this. It's not something that you choose, it's something that chooses you. And you have to walk the journey out.
Lala, I wish we had more time and a quieter environment, but everything happens for a reason, and one of the reasons you are at the location that you are now is so that people could become familiar. Some people who are here in South Florida could know that this place exists and this thing that you are doing happens there. If you could just, as we wrap up real quick, just remind people where you are and what you do there and how often you do it.
So it is 31 Lounge in Hollywood, Florida. It's at 1931 Hollywood Boulevard. And it is a lounge where we'll be doing, I don't know if you can see in the back. Let me see if I can get it. Kind of. The books and brunch in the back. Yes, good things are coming. So Books and Brunch is actually a literacy program that I'm doing. Is trying to get people inspired to read books, to employ the use of critical thinking, and just to break down some books. We're going to do leadership books. We're going to do books that deal with grief and trauma. It's a way to bring those things in so we can bring awareness to what's going on. So that's one of the things that I'll be doing. It happens the second Sunday of every month. We are still signing people up, so you can go to the Instagram page, and there's a jot form in my bio at the top of the link that you can actually sign up. You will get a free copy of my book, because the owner actually read my book, and she was like, man, you got to do a book club. I have people that read the book and throw it across the room because they're reading their lives in there. And that book right there that we're actually starting with, it was taught on the radio in Dallas for 30 days. My first book, I didn't expect that.
It
And
was
so
taught.
that's the book that we're going to start with. And you'll get a free mimosa upon entry, and you'll get a free copy of my book. And I want to help people become authors themselves. So my publisher is actually going to come down from Atlanta at some point and introduce the Scribe Circle that we help people become authors and just get a love and a fondness for books. So we'll know our history as well as, just the history of a lot of things that, we might think that we know, but we really don't know, and to share some different perspectives because it's really great when a lot of people come together from diverse backgrounds, diverse ethnicities, and just pour out our minds together and see that we're more alike than we're different. So that's the basis of that. Another thing that I do here at 31 Lounge, if you want to come next Wednesday on the 26th, I will actually be doing spoken word here. So my spoken word actually deals with the healing, the trauma, the relationships, the grief. I sneak it in on you, but it's really a fun experience, and we're going to be doing a lot of other great things here, partnering with 31 Lounge. So please come out. There's really great nightlife around here as well, really great restaurants around here, and it's all about community, sewing back into the community. And I love this because they are black owned, and so I really love pouring back in our community. And they gave me a place to use my voice, and I don't take that lightly. So 1931 Hollywood Boulevard and Hollywood Court. And I promise, if I get invited back, we'll be in a quieter environment. But I thought it was really important because
Yep.
even as we're talking tonight, I'm watching people as they're walking by, and they're kind of ear hustling this conversation, which is really awesome because they're like, I wonder what's going on there. So I think it's really important to do things and get outside of your comfort zone. And again, this is where you can come and meet me. I would love, love, love to meet you and to hear your thoughts and talk to you and understand how I can serve you. So I'm going to put myself back on mute, and I hope that kind of answers your question.
Right. So, for those that were wondering, why the very last things that Lala touched on were big whys. Now, individuals that are there in that space are now asking questions. So now they get an opportunity to share with someone else, even if they're not interested in it. The seed has been planted, and they get to share with someone else who may need something that Lala has to offer, that being in this space has to offer. And some of our listeners who are here in South Florida are looking to visit in South Florida. This is one of the places that you can put on your to go, your go to places. You can go ahead and list 31 Lounge on a day that Lala will be there, because it will be an experience where, yeah, you get to have a little food or you get to have a little drink, but the main thing that you will get to digest is something intangible but fills you all the way up. And we've had the opportunity to get to know Lala a little bit and some of what she is involved with, what she has done, some of her experiences. So we get a little bit of the whys behind the whats. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Where do you do it? All these questions. You're getting some answers. And one of them being, why would Stu bring this person on? Well, speaks for itself. And if you blink, you just might miss it. You will miss the making of a butterfly. You'll miss hearing that confession. You just might miss it. The good thing is in that split second when your eyes are closed, right after that, they're opened again. So if you're walking around with your eyes closed, you have an opportunity to have them opened. And if you're just closing them momentarily, when you open them, the light is there. Don't really go into the light, use the light. It's not time for you to go into the light yet, but use the light. And it could be someone who you talk with all the time, but never really listen to. That brings you that light. There's a difference. And I probably should have said it could be someone you talk to all the time versus talk with. Because the with is a two-way street. And oftentimes we talk to and talk at people and not with them. And these are some of the things that I'm pretty sure you will hear as you listen to Lala present the spoken word. But you need to listen keenly because I'm sure she's creative with it. You heard me read that piece, Lala Gazelle, from the book She Blinked, the book of me. Not me, she. Lala. And so I want to thank you for taking the time out once again, Laurinda, to share of yourself, to give people insight into who you are, what you do, why you do it, and the opportunity for them to also use their voice. And so I thank you. And yes, you will be back. You don't get off the hook that easily. I'm sorry. No, ma'am. So you will be back. And we will get to talk and share and invite others to do what you have done. You know, there's some people that you have connected with that have a voice also that you know, something like this could help them share with others. We'll bring them on too. And we'll all sit and vibe and just have a great time. People in the chat are saying thank you. Thanks again, Lala. I tell you, these people like you. They do. They really do. And so, as we go off into musical therapy, I pray and hope you get home safely. From there, don't stay out too late. It's a work night. So get home safely and we'll talk. People in the chat are saying, Lala, you are strong. Thank you. Yes, you need to come back because you're fun. And it's yeah, we get it. It's not all about the giggles and the fun times. It's the reality of life that you present so well. Even the parts that hurt. Yes, it has happened. We have pushed through. We are still pushing through. And we are not letting it define us. We are defining ourselves as a result of it. And so, to your strength, to your peace, to your growth, to your expansion, development, to it all, I pray positivity and continued success. And I know the noise over there, so yeah. And I know you don't want to unmute unless you really have to. So thank you. As we jump off into musical therapy, I'm going to kick it off with a track from an artist, local artist, by the way. And he is one that uses messages in his music also. His name is Plus Disturbance. and I had him as a guest on my Saturday broadcast a few weeks ago. And this is music from Plus Disturbance. It's called Plant the Seed.
Right now, right now, right now. Some people hate you for nothing. Some say it's just a religion. Some people say if they make enough money they can escape from this prison. But if you never get your ticket to Mars, you know say you're stuck here with us all. Why you stand there looking far? You better plant the seed you want, raise the fruit you want. Plant the seed you want. I tell you, plant the seed you want, raise the fruit you want. Plant the seed you want.
I want to also remind people to connect with Lala.
Reap the benefits you got to know.
She's on social media. You can look her up once you search her. I told you before. Once you search for her name, Laurinda Andujar, Andujar. For those of you that are listening and not watching, yeah, Laurinda Andujar. If you feel like you want to pronounce every letter. You can find her on social media. You can find her. Once you search for her, you'll find her books on various platforms. So you can order a couple of her books. Go ahead, look her up and connect with her. She does welcome the connection. Look for her on IG. I am Laurinda Andujar. You'll find her there. Send her a message. Blow up her inbox. If you're not above board, you will be blocked. Let me tell you, I'm sorry. I didn't have the experience. I don't know anybody who has. And if you did have that experience, don't tell nobody. Just don't do it again. Alright, just don't do it again.
For nothing.
Once again, this is music from Plus Disturbance. It's called Plant the Seed.
Right now, right now, right now. Some people hate you for nothing. Some say it's just a religion. Some people say if they make enough money they can escape from this prison. But if you never get your ticket to Mars, you know say you're stuck here with us all. Why you stand there looking far? You better plant the seed you want, raise the fruit you want. Plant the seed you want. I tell you, plant the seed you want, raise the fruit you want. Plant the seed you want. And every child got to make it just a seed to a plant. To reap the benefits, you got to know what you want. They say that we die from the day that we born. To master the energy, that is my time. They say that the truth is in the ground of the heart. And no one can save you if you're coming up short. You can find nutrition in the fruit, but the life of the plant is from the seed to the root. Plant the seed you want, raise the fruit you want. Plant the seed you want. I tell you, plant the seed you want, raise the fruit you want. Plant the seed you want. They cannot learn your lesson for you, so they cannot steal your blessing, and this you should know. The path you choose to new love somehow. Don't let it get you down, 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 down. Plant the seed you want, raise the fruit you want. Plant the seed you want. I tell you, plant the seed you want, raise is just a religion. Some people say if they make enough money, they can escape from this prison. But if you never get your ticket to Mars, you know say you're stuck here with no sound. Why you stand there looking, man? You better plant the seed you want, raise the fruit you want, plant the seed you want, plant the seed you want. You better plant the seed you want.
Yeah, you can't plant a coconut tree and want to repair. If it's a pear tree you want, you plant pear. That's how it go. This is music from Army Gideon. The track is called Chains Them.
Still I use them brain, you got to change them. Because if we don't, everything remains the same. Mental change them. Keep your people lost and they still don't know their past, so they enslave them. Why, hey, change them. Babylon remove and them still I use them brain. You got to change them. Because if we don't, everything remains the same. Mental change them. Keep your people lost and they still don't know their past, so they enslave them. Why, oh. We are out here in a Babylon. Look around and there's nowhere to go. I say equal rights, that's for everyone. So do unto those as you would have it done. Oh, well. Change them. The Babylon remove and them still I use them brain. You got to change them. You see, cause if we don't, everything remains the same. Mental change them. Keep your people lost and they still don't know their past, so they enslave them. Why, hey, change them. Me say the Babylon remove and them still I use them brain. You got to change them. Because if we don't, everything remains the same. Mental change them. Keep your people lost and they still don't know their past, so they enslave them. Why, hey. We are out here in a Babylon. Look around and there's nowhere to go. I say equal rights, that's for everyone. Did you say?
The track is called Chains Them. From the group Army Gideon, lead singer and Bessa. He was my guest this past Saturday as a secret ingredient.
I love me, I did with.
Some new music out of the UK.
I did with. Love me, I did with. Love me.
Courtesy of One Harmony Productions.
I remember when they used to say.
This is Robert Dallas. Track called Love Where I Deal With.
They see me on the front line like sun and shine. Because I'm not sitting down and studying no war and crime. No, because I love me, I deal with all the time. I love me, I deal with. 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 I love me, I deal with all the time. All the time. Them a worry about me, but me no worry about them. All I know, the best in life is yet to come. Victory is on my mind. Success is a must. To make them stay there and wasting them time. I love me, I deal with. 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 All the time. All the time. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Trust your ears, Missy Brown Brown. Trust your ears.
Say I'm wasting my time, oh Lord. But no, they see me on the front line like sun and shine. Because I'm not sitting down and studying no war and crime. Oh no, because I love me, I deal with all the time. They might worry about me, but me no worry about them. Oh no, all I know, the best in life is yet to come. Victory is on my mind. Success is a must. So make them stay there and wasting them time. I love me, I deal with. 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 All the time, all the time, all the time, all the time.
Yeah, man, I love what I deal with all the time, you know. And with love comes forgiveness, right? So let's.
Whoa,
be the one.
Yeah.
To forgive. So that we can be forgiven. This is new music from J. Cole. It's called Forgiven.
Girl, you've done me wrong. You did, girl. You know it's true. So I moved on. Yeah.
There you go, Bram Bram.
Thought you did too.
I told you, trust your ears.
This is a life I'm living.
I'm living.
I was hurt, but now I'm chilling.
Just chilling. Everything
you've done,
forgive me.
Forgive.
I did it for me.
Yes, I did it.
Yes, I did it for me. You've done me wrong. You know it's true. Thought I moved on, and you did too. I'm gonna love
again. I did it for me. Yes, I did it. I did it for me. Roll back the hands of time and maybe we can try again. Love might be kind this time, but baby, the fire might just die again. My friends, they might say I must be crazy. You're only gonna lie again. So what I'll do, I'm gonna love. This is a life I'm living. I was hurt, but now I'm chilling. Just chilling. Everything you've done, forgive, forget. I did it for me. Yes, I did it. Yes, I did it for me. So you say you wanna try again, but you're gonna hurt my pride again. You're only gonna lie again. No, 'cause I wanna love. This is a life I'm living. I was hurt, but now I'm chilling. Yeah. Everything you've done, forgive, forget. I did it for me. Yes, I did it. Yes, I did it for me. I did it for me. Yeah. I did it for me. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Girl, you've done me wrong. Done me wrong. You know it's true. You know it's true, yeah. So I moved on. Thought you did too, yeah. I'm gonna love. This is a life I'm living. I was hurt, but now I'm chilling. Just chilling. Everything you've done, forgive, forget. I did it for me. Yes, I did it. I did it for me.
I'm gonna love this life that I'm living, because it's the one life that I have to live. 4 minutes to the top of the hour, 4 more minutes before I get on out here. Gonna play a tune that I was introduced to a long time ago. And I was reminded of it recently. It's called Never Leave I. Artist goes by the name Phil Watkins.
Yeah. Ooh, Lord, 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 oh, oh, oh. Judge, I never leave I lonely, yeah. You never leave I or forsake I. You're right there when I call on you, Jah. You forgive.
No matter what's this that we're going through,
you bless my soul when I call.
just understand you're not alone.
Or forsake I. You by my side when I need.
Even when the people that are physically there are no longer there anymore.
Set the laws on the foundation and you're abiding by his rule. So much talent to give by both.
There's one that never leaves you.
Now go waste my days and act no fool.
It's called Never Leave I. Phil Watkins.
Never leave I lonely, yeah. You never leave I or forsake I. You're right there when I call on you, Jah. You forgive I and redeem I. You bless my soul when I call on you, Jah. Never leave I or forsake I. You by my side when I need you. Who I get the vision of a stay wise Jah is the teacher in my school. Him set the laws on the foundation and you abiding by his rule. So much talent Jah give by both and wisdom beside tool. Now go waste my days and act no fool. And I hope you want to deal with dread me and tell you do no come around. After the blows of my throat Jah now go make them overthrow me. Love and strength, His truth and His grace belongs surround me. You never ever leave I lonely. You never leave I or forsake I. You're right there when I call on redeemer. You bless my soul when I call on you, Jah. Never leave I or forsake I. You by my side when I need you. I walk with you, Jah. Talk with you, Jah. Keep me firm and strong so there's no fall with you, Jah. Through the roughest of times, you brought me through, Jah. Only you, Jah. I am anointed. I am anointed. To you, Jah, cause I trod upon this earth. In Jah, I find my comfort.
This is where we part company. Thank you to the affiliates. Thank you to all listeners and supporters. Much love to you. Thank you to Lala, Laurinda Andujar. As we part company, remember, look out for members of your community. Your community is not just the development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So look out for members of your community as you walk, take the bus, the plane, the boat, the train. In which way you travel, you commute. Look out for people, because somebody going to look out for you, yeah? Yeah, I'll take care. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you a good night. Be good. Or be good at it. I'm out of here, y'all. Take care of yourselves. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.